Good morning, class. Welcome back to our virtual class consultation in Mathematics 9. We are now already in the last week of quarter 1, which is week 8, and we'll be using module number 8. But prior to the discussion in module number 8, we'll have a short additional discussion on module number 7. And we will be discussing all about writing quadratic functions from vertex form to its standard form. The standard form of the quadratic function is written as y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So on your screen, you will see two examples, two items whose quadratic functions are written in vertex form. As you can see, y is equal to a times the square of x minus h plus b. So how are we going to rewrite these quadratic functions from vertex form to its standard form? So we'll try the first example. So the solutions are as follows. Y is equal to 2 times duhaka x minus 4. Because as you can see on the given equation, that is the square of the binomial x minus 4. So it means nga duhaka x minus 4 to is what? Then copy plus 5. So what's next? We will get the product of the two binomials x minus 4 using FOIL method. First term, outer, inner, and last. So we will write it as y is equal to 2 times open parentheses. So using FOIL method, that is x times x is x squared, x times negative 4 is negative 4x, negative 4 times x is negative 4x, negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16, then copy plus 5. Next, we will add the two middle terms, duhaka negative 4x, that is negative 8x. So it is written as y is equal to 2 times x squared minus 8x plus 16, then plus 5. From that, diha na ta makamultiply sa 2 nga naa sa gawas sa parentheses. Ato i-distribute ang 2 sa trinomial nga x squared minus 8x plus 16. So that will give us the result 2 times x squared is 2x squared, 2 times negative 8x is negative 16x, while 2 times positive 16 is positive 32. Then copy plus 5. So from this part of the solution, we will add the two constant 32 and 5. So it will give us y is equal to 2x squared minus 16x plus 37. So that would be our final quadratic function written in standard form. Okay, how about the second example? So again, the square of the binomial x plus 2 will be written as two binomials nga x plus 2. Then copy minus 4. Next step, we will get the product of the two binomials x plus 2 using FOIL method. So that would give us y is equal to negative 3. Open parentheses, x times x is x squared, x times 2, 2x, 2 times x, 2x, 2 times 2 is 4. Then bring down minus 4. Next part is to add the two middle terms, duha ka 2x, so that is written as 4x. So if we will write again the solution, that would be y is equal to negative 3 times x squared plus 4x, kay gi-add ang duha ka 2x, then plus 4, bring down minus 4. So nagya pa ng parentheses ha, kani pasabot nga naay number nga i-distribute, and that is negative 3. So the next part of the solution would be y is equal to negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared, while negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x, negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12, then bring down minus 4. So from this part of the solution, there are two constant, negative 12 and negative 4. So what shall we do with this? We will add them since they are of the same sign. Puro sila negative, no? Kabantay mo. Negative 12 and negative 4. So we will add the two numbers and copy the sign, same sign. So that would be negative 16. So the final equation would be y equals negative 3x squared minus 12x minus 16. Okay, so they get it. So that would be the last part of module number 7 before we proceed to module number 8. Okay, so we are now already in module number 8. The topic is graphing of the quadratic function. So we have two objectives to achieve. That is to graph a quadratic function, then identify its parts. First part, the domain and range. Then another is we will identify the x and y intercepts, then axis of symmetry, vertex, and the direction of the opening of the parabola. The second objective is to analyze what will be the effect of changing the values of a, h, and k in the vertex form of the quadratic function on its graph. So lesson number 1, we will be discussing all about the various graph of a quadratic function. So I have prepared here 5 examples on how to graph quadratic function of different form sa quadratic function. So what's in? So we will have a short recall or recap on the previous lesson that we have taken on module number 7. So we have there. You still remember how you rewrite quadratic functions from standard form to its vertex form using HK method? Anyone? Kaninundum ani? Where the value of h is negative b over twice a, while k is the function of h, meaning ang value sa h ipuli ngadto sa original quadratic function to derive the value of k. So here's how. Okay, that one. So we will arrive at this format. This is the vertex form, no, of the quadratic function. Y is equal to the square of x minus h plus k, wherein a here is 1. So sa itong example, ang atong value sa a ang kay puro 1. Imaginary 1x square, ang pikas po, imaginary 1, yan dapat x square. So ang iyang numerical coefficient sa quadratic term is 1. Okay, so to solve for example number 1, we will identify the value of a and b, wherein a there is 1, while b is positive 10, or positive 1 and positive 10. Next, to solve for the value of h, wherein h is equal to negative b over twice a. So that is equivalent to negative of 10. Since the value of b is positive, I still put parentheses. Kaya ang importance mo sa parentheses is to identify yun if the number of b is positive or negative. Why? Because there is a negative sign outside of the value of b. So since b is positive 10, so okay ra. So that's understood nga negative 10 gud ang numerator. While the denominator twice a is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2. The numerator is negative 10. So negative 10 divided by positive 2 is negative 5. So our h is negative 5. So we will plug in the value of h to find the value of k. Since k is equal to the function of h, wherein h is negative 5. So that is ipuli ang negative 5 nga to sa original equation nga y is equal to x squared plus 10x plus 21. Pulihan ang x og negative 5. So you have there. K is equal to the square of negative 5 plus 10 times negative 5 plus 21. So what is the square of negative 5? Negative 5 times negative 5, positive 25. 10 times negative 5, negative 50. Then copy plus 21. So to add and subtract these numbers using a calculator, that would give us the value of k, which is negative 4. So to recheck this one, you can use calculator. So we have already arrived at the value of our h and k. So how are we going to write this vertex form? Kaning y is equals to the square of x minus h plus k. Ang atong h kay negative 5. So mahitabo ato lay pulihan ng h kani nga h, pulihan siya og negative 5. So that would be x minus negative 5. Mara importansya nga nang importante gitawag parenthesis no para ma-differentiate gyud siya ang operation o ang sign sa second nga number, because by operation we cannot subtract a number, we cannot subtract a negative number, no, but instead changing the sign of the operation into plus and changing the sign of the second number into plus. So that would be x plus 5. Sa lain po sa multiplicative property, that is negative sign sa gawa sa parentheses, and i-multiply nimo siya sa negative sign sa sulod sa parentheses pod, that would give us positive. Okay, negative times negative 5 is positive 5. So that would be x plus 5. Then parentheses square. Then between plus negative 4, so we only need to make use of one sign, no? And that should be negative or minus 4. So ma-ignore na ang plus nga sign. So kung unsa man gani ang sign sa k, mo na ang sundo niya nga operation. So that would give us y is equal to the square of x plus 5 minus 4. Okay, next. Second example, y is equal to x squared minus 4x plus 6, wherein the value of a is 1, b is negative 4. To solve for the value of h is negative b over twice a. So, i-plug in lang ang value sa a o b sa equation or sa formula. And that will give us h is equal to negative of negative 4. Atong b din is negative number, negative, has a negative sign. So, manang na negative sign sa gawas, negative sign ang sasulod sa parentheses. So, that means negative times negative would be positive 4. While the denominator is 2 times positive 1, that is positive 2. So, positive 4 ang ibabaw divided by positive 2 sa ubos, that would give us positive value of h, which is positive 2. Then to solve for k, we'll plug in the value of h, which is 2, to the original equation ng y equals x squared minus 4x plus 6. So that would give us k is equal to the square of 2 minus 4 times 2 plus 6. K is equal to the square of 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4 man, no? 2 square. Okay, 2 times 2, kadawag multiply ang 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, 4 times 2 is 8. So, manang 4 minus 8 plus 6. So, using calculator, i-minus and then i-add ang result, that would give us positive 2 ang value sa k. Since h is positive 2 and k is positive 2, so our equation in vertex form will give us y equals x minus 2 square plus 2. So, di siya pareha sa number 1 example no nga plus. It would only happen nga plus siya if ang h is negative. Sa second example, our h is positive man, so mo na ma-retain ang iyahang minus nga sign sa binomial nga x minus h. Okay? So, do you get it? So, how important is this method in graphing quadratic functions? Ato ang main discussion gyud, how do we graph quadratic functions? In order to graph quadratic function in standard form, which is written as y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, we can make use of HK method to arrive at our vertex. Vertex, asa di vertex ato sir? Okay, karon ato ni masabtan. So, unsa din ng vertex? What is really vertex? Vertex is the highest or lowest point of the parabola. So, ng parabola sir? Sa discussion nato sa module number 6, kato introduction to quadratic function, we have discussed that the graph of a quadratic function is a parabola. Mara siya og dila to, no? Marag katunga sa dila or marag katunga sa oblong ingon sila, pero actually di siya ma-consider nga oblong, mara pod nun siya dila lang, denoted by v ordered pair hk. Kung sa linear function pa na sa or linear equation, ang hk represents ordered pair xy. So ang value sa x mo po yung value sa h, ang value sa y pareha po na siya sa value sa k when using quadratic function, where h is the x coordinate and k is the y coordinate. So asa makita ang vertex di sir sa graph sa parabola? Okay, let us try to check these two graphs. Okay, the first graph is the parabola is facing upward. Nya kanang yellow nga point, yellow or dark or marasag orange na. Dark yellow. So ang kanang yellow signifies the location of the vertex. Nya gibutan mo din vertex is the lowest point. So ang vertex din nga part sa parabola is at its lowest point since the parabola is facing upward. So kanus-ar pod siya nga highest point when the parabola is facing downward. Ana. So ang vertex sa second graph is nasa ibabaw since ang iyang graph is facing downward or opens downward. So these are the two directions of the parabola. The parabola opens upward when the value of A is positive. A is greater than 0. So sa mga number or numbers sa A nga dako pa sa 0, that is positive 1 and positive numbers, di ba? So it opens. Ang first graph is the parabola is facing upward. So therefore ang A din is positive. How about when it opens downward? Kung saan siya ma-open downward? When A is negative. The value of A is less than 0. So, sa mga number nga gamay pa sa 0, obviously negative numbers. Wherein ang A represents the coefficient, numerical coefficient of the quadratic term ax squared. Subtan. Okay. That is the first component of the graph of the quadratic function, which is parabola. Usa siya sa component ha, ang vertex. Next component. We need also to take note that the parabola becomes narrower when A is greater than 1. So meaning, kung matamingan nga ang A is 2, 3, 4, 5, so mori dagway. No? Sa kan primero. The parabola is narrow when A is greater than 1. The second graph is wider. Kita mo, maragbokara kaayo. So the parabola becomes wider only when A is less than 1. So, ang sa mga number nga gamay pa sa 1, fraction, 1/2, 1/4, 3/4, or possibly negative numbers. So, what is the second component of the parabola? Okay, axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is an imaginary line that divides the parabola into two faces, the left and right face, which are mirror images of its points. So, no, I mirror the eye, sir. What's ng left and right face? Okay. This would be the graph. The parabola here is facing downward. It has 5 points, no? 5 ka points. Naido ka paristan sa point nga atbang. Kung ang ilang pag-atbang kay pariha jud kay sa nga tanan no topong, then ay kang 5 point is naa sa center, which is the vertex. But where is the axis of symmetry there? Okay. Kana siyang linya nga nagbarog. Broken line which is drawn vertically. Nitadlas gid siya sa vertex. So tungod sa kanang imaginary line nga gitawag og axis of symmetry, mao na siya makapadivide sa parabola into two faces, the left and right face. So naay left face, as you can see, left face, then napoy right face. Para sa to ang naong good kung tungaon niya tong lawas, for sure, kung si makita sa left part sa imong dagway, mo sa makita pod probably napod sa right. Kaya lang sa kayog nakaidunggan sa left, nga imong dunggan sa right, kaya na makita ibabaw sa ulo. So hindi ka na mahitabo, no? So dapat naagi na siya kitawag og kaatbang. So our body man good is bilaterally equal gyud. So kung si makita sa left side, mo na siya sa right side. So same pa sa itong mata. Kung atong left face na ay mata, atong right face maapod mata niya, ka-level gina sila. So mo na siya good example of axis of symmetry sa atong lawas. Makita sa atong lawas. Then next is it can be identified by solving the value of h. So asa makita ang axis of symmetry, sir? Gawas anang broken line nga nagbarog. So ang axis of symmetry, since ang broken line is itadlas siya sa x-axis, so therefore ang gipangita na is ang value sa x. Wala mo tayo ordered pair diri nga xy kundi hk man. So therefore, ang gi-represent sa value sa x dinhi sa quadratic function is ang h. Okay? Diba ang ordered pair kay xy man? So, ang gipasabot sa x ani ang value sa h in the vertex hk. So to solve, by solving the value of h using the formula h is equal to negative b over twice a, okay, kabawang nga ang h is the x coordinate of the vertex hk. So siya nag-represent sa value sa x. So that one, vertex and axis of symmetry. How do we represent the domain and range of the function? Kapilan man ning component, ikatulong component. So, usa din ang domain and range diay, sir. Okay, if you would recall on your grade 7 and even in grade 8, primitive na misgutan ang domain and range, labi na kung mag-solve ta sa linear function, linear equation or linear function, no? Labi na table of values sa x and y. So, narito makita ang domain and range. So, ang domain is the set of real numbers found at the x-axis. So, therefore, ang tanang value sa x is considered domain. Then, usually, ang i-define na to ang x coordinate as independent variable. No? Okay. Once we plug in the value of x, mahibawan man ang value sa y. Wherein ang y is the dependent variable. So, range there is the set of the values of y exclusively to where the parabola faces either upward or downward. So, magpares gina ang value sa x ug ang value sa y. Meaning, magpares gina ang domain ug ang range. Pero dili tanang value sa y, mahimo siyang part sa solution, no? Kaya magdepende man siya kung asa mag-face ang parabola, either facing upward or facing downward. Later, we will discuss ang sa pag-identify sa domain and range. Specifically, ang range gyud. Okay, the fourth component are the intercepts. So, what are intercepts? Where can we locate them on the graph? So, intercepts such as x and y intercepts are points found at their respective axes. Where? Okay. So, this graph will illustrate asa makita ang mga intercepts. Okay, kana. The first box, ang point, actually, duha sa ka-points. Kanang duha ka points nga nag-atbang nga ning batog sa x-axis, horizontal x-axis. Horizontal line is the x-axis, no? So, there are two x-intercept. We define ang x-intercept, the value of x when y is assumed 0. So, mo na siya. How about y-intercept? Y-intercept is the value of y when x is assumed 0. So, ang y-intercept, makita na po siya sa y-axis, point or points kaning batog sa y-axis. So, meaning, sir, ang kanaling duha ka book, sir, nga wala ning batog sa x o y-axis. So, unsa bitawag na nila? They are not part of what we call intercept. Diba? So, simple na kayo. But still, they are part of the solution, which are contained in the parabola or on the parabola. So, what is x-intercept? It is a point of intersection along the x-axis where the parabola passes through. So, kanang duha ka point ganing batog sa x-axis, actually part siya sa parabola. Wherein pagtadla sa parabola sa kanang part sa x-axis, namugna ang gitawag og x-intercept. How about y-intercept? Y-intercept is a point of intersection along the y-axis where the parabola passes through, in symbols 0, y. So, point po na siya nga part pod siya sa parabola nga wherein ning batog natamingan na ni batog ang kanang point ngadto sa y-axis. Okay? So that's represented by 0, y. So pila ito ka buok? Ikaupat nino. So these are just some of the properties that you will be identifying when graphing our quadratic functions in the examples that we will discuss a few moments from now. So pila ito ka properties or components sa graph of the quadratic function, which is parabola. First is vertex. Second is axis of symmetry. Third is domain and range. The fourth one is x and y intercepts. So we have 4 components to identify. Okay. We shall discuss first the first example. How do we graph the quadratic function of the form y is equal to ax squared? So usa ra ka term no, nya quadratic term pag siya. So kani siya nga first example is a graph of the parent function. So siya ang sinugdanan. Then we will identify the following: axis symmetry, vertex, direction of the parabola, dominant range, intercepts. So first, given the equation y is equal to x squared, the following are. So kanina naka-yellow nga equation mo na tong first example. Yeah, sir, asa mang a ana iko na may nga naamay a nga nakasuwat sa given yun kana y equals to ax squared. Pila may value sa a ana, sir? Oh. Obviously, if there is no number beside x squared, that means that is imaginary 1. Since parent function man siya, so ang iyang point, ang iyang vertex is magsugod gud siya sa origin. Ang kato intersection sa x ug y axis anas tong atunga, so dito siya mag-start, wherein our vertex is, the value of our vertex is 0, 0, since the graph is located at the origin. So mao gid ang sinugdanan. Then next, sir, kung may pag-identify sa axis of symmetry sa kaning example, the axis of symmetry, since ang value sa x kay 0 man, but remember ganina, axis of symmetry is ang value sa x kay ang imaginary line kung asa ang parabola, ang iyang kung asa iyang vertex mutadlas, kung mutadlas gani siya ngadto sa x-axis, ang iyang axis of symmetry, meaning na value ang x. But since our vertex is located at the origin, so therefore ang y-axis maoy ato ang axis of symmetry nya. Di man dili na value sa y-axis no, ang dili man ang y-axis mo ay value sa axis symmetry kundi ang value sa x. And since our vertex is 0, 0, our h there is 0, so therefore ang atong axis symmetry is x equals 0 or h equals 0. Next, the parabola opens upward y. Our value of a is imaginary positive 1. So when a is positive, meaning the parabola is facing upward. Even without kanang graphing or drawing the graph, no, makibaw kita nga it is facing upward by the value of our a na nasa equation. Okay, second step. Make a table of values of at least 3 points on the left and right side of the vertex. Since our vertex is 0, 0, we will solve for the values of y. So gamito na to. So maghimot tag table of values. Since our vertex is at the origin 0, 0, kita mo ang ibabaw puro value of x, then ang ubos puro value sa y nya. Bakante pag gina ang value of y kay kibaw matanga. This can only be answered when we will plug in all the values of x sa original equation niya. Okay, since the values of x are independent variables, so we'll plug them sa original equation para makuha nato ang value sa y, which is considered dependent variable. Okay, to continue. So how do we solve for the values of y, which is gitawag og mga dependent variable or the range? We will substitute the values of x to the function f of x is equal to x squared, since y is equal to the function of x. So first, so sa to ang table of values, wait ha. Okay, we have here the table of values, no. The values of x are 0, then to the right of 0, so there are 3 points to the right of the vertex, that is 1, 2, and 3. Ang mga numbers to the left of the vertex, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So by solution di ay, so our first value of x nga atong i-substitute is negative 3. So what is the function of negative 3? So pulihan ang x of negative 3. So the square of negative 3. So negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Next, second value of x, negative 2. So the square of negative 2, negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4. Then x negative 1. So negative 1 square, or the square of negative 1. So that is positive 1. What if x is 0? So what is 0 times 0? That is still 0. Then if x is 1, so 1 times 1 is 1. Next, if x is 2, 2 squared is 4. Then lastly, if x is 3, 3 times 3 is 9. So therefore, mo niya atong table of values, complete table of values. Now, as you would see, the values of y, sa observation ninyo, di ba na ay, sir, parihara lagi sir. Di ba? Ang vertex kay 0, 0. Yan, nag-atbang ang value sa y nga parehog 1, parehog 4, parehog 9. Why? If you'll remember, one of the components of the graph of the quadratic function, which is the parabola, that the axis of symmetry produces equal faces, mirror images of the points on the left and right face gyud sa parabola. Muna dapat mapariha gina sila og value sa y, mag-atbang gina sila, even if lain-lain sila value sa x. Okay? Para painsakto gyud drawing ang parabola. So, next step, to determine the domain and range of the function y equals to x squared. So, obviously, the domain or the values of x are all set of real numbers. So, negative infinity to positive infinity. So, tanang numbers nga naa sa number line, where in the center is 0, to the right and to the left of the 0 can be made use when solving quadratic function. So, how about our range? Our range, kung tanaw sa table of values, ang pinakagamay nga value sa y is 0 gyud, then increasing to positive numbers. So, for us to write the range, we will represent range as values of y which is greater than or equal to 0. So, unsa mga number nga dako pa sa 0? 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, y is equal to 0. So, meaning, ang pinakagamay day nga value sa y should be 0. So, why negative numbers ha? Inanion siya pagsuwat sa range. Y is greater than or equal to 0. Nga mabase dyan ka sa table of values. So, di siya lisod. Next is to determine the x and y intercepts of the function y equals to x squared. Since the vertex is at the origin, it contains only one intercept, that is 0, 0. Obviously, origin makan 0, 0, no? Diba? Next. So we have here a portion of the rectangular coordinate system which is showing quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Sakto ba? Naa ang x-axis, ang horizontal line. Ang vertical line is the positive y-axis ang nakita. Okay, makita ang negative y-axis. Meaning, ang graph di ay is naa siya located sa quadrant 1 o quadrant 2. So, given the table of values there, nga itong gisolve ganina, we will plot the points or the ordered pairs on this Cartesian plane or rectangular coordinate plane. So, first plotting is negative 3, 9 nga ordered pair. So, can we locate negative 3, 9? The value of x is negative 3. Then, pares niya positive 9. So, saka positive 9. So, dinha. So, ang pairing sa x o y is mao ang intersection nila. Kanang point, kanang yellow nga, first yellow nga point. So, muna siya ang pagplot. Paris-paris gidaha x and y. The second pair is negative 2, 4. X is negative 2, then y is positive 4. So, din ha. So, dapat palocate. Next, negative 1 ang x. Okay, to the right of 0. Negative 1. Pares niya, positive 1. Ang y, going up 1. Oh, sorry. So, there. Then, the vertex is 0, 0 origin. Obviously, naag just intersection sa x ug y axis, no? So, na din na-locate ang vertex. The next, 1, 1. Next, 2, 4. Kita mo, nag-atbang yun ang points. So, and more or less, parihag, Popariha gyud ang value sa y no nga nag-atbang nga mga points pero lahi-lahi sila og value sa x daw pareha sa number pero lahi-lahi lang ang sign. Once we connect the points, it will give us a graph which is a parabola facing upward, wherein the vertex is located at the origin. Mao ni siya dagway sa parent function nga y is equal to ax squared. Take note that when a is greater than 1, the graph of this parent function becomes narrow. So, kung ang a dinhi is 2 di, so magkagipot pag ang iyahang graph, it becomes closer to each other. But when a is less than 1, so sa mga number nga gamay pa sa 1, that is probably fraction, no? Or padung sa negative. So, kung makagamay da ang value sa a nga gamay pa sa 1, kung fraction siya or negative, ang graph sa parent function magka-widened. Mas mubukha pa ni siya. Okay, that ends example number 1. Let's proceed to example number 2. How about graphing the quadratic function of the form y equals to ax squared plus k? And identify the following. So, identify the axis of symmetry, vertex, ang direction sa parabola, the domain and range, and intercepts. So, first thing to do. Given the equation y is equal to x squared plus 3, the following are the vertex. Ganina ang vertex kay 0, 0, kay ang iyahang vertex is located at the origin man. How about if the vertex is lahi na? Okay. Diba i-define ang vertex as hk? So, sa given kanang second example of the quadratic function, wala na h, pero na siya k. So, wala h, no? So, therefore, ang vertex is composed of 0, 3. H is 0, then k is positive 3. Okay, ang given sa equation is plus 3 man, so positive 3. Since there is a value of k already, while h has none, so ang h k 0. Next, the axis of symmetry. Since our h is 0 man, so therefore x is equal to 0. Kaya bang nga ang x is pareha sa value sa h. Ang k para sa value sa y. Since the vertex falls along the y-axis, later makita nato asa malocate ang vertex when graphing. So here the parabola opens upward since a is greater than 1. Kaya ang number tapad sa x squared is imaginary positive 1. Next step. We'll make a table of values of at least 3 points on the left and right side of the vertex. So, atong vertex is 0, 3, no? To solve for the values of y. So, ang values sa x ani kay 0, ang y kay positive 3. So, unsa mga number nga tulo ka number to the right of 0? Parehara sa example number 1, 1, 2, and 3. The numbers to the left of 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Then, gibutangan na kudaan nanay value ang y kay mao man ang vertex, no? 0, 3. So we will solve for the values of y when x is positive 1, 2, 3 and negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So solution. So to solve for the values of y, we will substitute the values of x to the function f of x is equals to x squared plus 3. So pulihan ang x og lato. Nag-start as a negative 3. When x is negative 3, or f of negative 3 is equal to negative 3 square, or the square of negative 3. Pila man ang square sa negative 3? Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Yeah, 9, ang result, i-add sa 3. That will give us 12. Next, if x is negative 2, so the square of negative 2, that means negative 2 times negative 2, that is positive 4. Positive 4 plus positive 3 plus 3 is 7. How about when x is negative 1? Square sa negative 1, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 plus 3 is 4. Next, if x is 0, square sa 0, 0 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is only 3. When x is 1, so the square of 1 is 1 times 1, 1. Now 1 plus 3, 4. Next, if x is 2, the square of 2, that is 2 times 2, 4. plus 3, 7. And lastly, when x is 3, 3 square, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 3, 12. So as you can see, nag-atbang ang value sa y nga 12, 7, and 4. Then the middle one is the vertex, our vertex, which is highlighted as red, no? Ito yung nag-red para ibaon gid nato nga kana siya vertex na siya. Next is to determine the domain and range of the function y equals to x squared plus 3. Okay, the domain, kawagid ang domain is the set of all values of x, negative infinity to positive infinity. Ang range na gid ang bantayan ani ang pagkuha. How do we represent the range or r? So, kung mobalik sa table of values, ang pinakagamay nga value sa y dinhi is obviously 3. So, and increasing. So, therefore, ang pagsuwat is y is greater than or equal to 3. Why? Kaya ang pinakagamay nga value sa y is positive 3. Nga sa mga number nga dako pa sa 3, that is 4, 7, 12, and so on. Unsa pa yung mga solution sa y given the values of x. Step number 4, determine the x and y intercepts of the following of the function y equals to x squared plus 3. So, our vertex is 0, 3. Nga, that is considered the y-intercept. Kaya nga naman, so pag-define sa y-intercept, value of y, which is 3 when x is assumed 0. So obviously, the vertex is also representing our y-intercept. There's no x-intercept since the graph is located 3 units above the x-axis. X-axis, x-intercept, value of x and y is 0. Dili gid siya. Let's try to check the graph. Kung naa ba jay x intercept. So plot the points. So first point na ato i-plot is negative 3 and 12. So that there, negative 3 and 12. Next, negative 2 and 7. Next is negative 1 and 4. Next is 0 and 3. And next is 1 and 4. Then followed by 2, 7. Then 3 and 12. So when we connect the points, it will give us a graph of a parabola facing upward. Now, that is, ang vertex is 3 points above the original. Okay, take note. The graph of ax squared plus k is the graph of the parent function nga nasa example number 1, which is move k units upward when k is positive. So atong value sa k dinhi is positive 3 man. So mo na siyang 3 units above. But when that is negative, kung negative minus 3 na siya, so possibly ang graph is naa sa negative y axis. K units downward when k is negative. So to continue, we'll be moving to the third example. So example number 3, that is graphing quadratic function of the form y is equal to a times the square of x minus h, o mo format, and identify the following. So identify nato gyapon ang axis of symmetry, vertex, direction sa parabola, domain and range, then intercepts. So this is the third format, no? So example, given equation y is equal to 1 times the square of x minus 1. So to identify the following, first, vertex. Ganina, na ito'y plus k, no? Okay, come to siya, y is equals to ax squared plus k. So, na-value sa k, pero y-value sa h. Kani, na-value sa h, pero y-value sa k. So, therefore, the vertex is at 1, 0. Sir, di lagi ka nimo ang 1, sir. Okay. Since the value of h there is 1. Kung tanaw nimo, h man ano? X minus h. sa given equation x minus 1. So ang h din na is positive 1. Dili negative 1 ha, tungod kay sir minus man na sir. X minus the value of h. So our h there is 1. Why labot ang minus nga sign? Pero kung ang given pa ni siya is x plus 1, therefore ang h nato would give us the idea nga kanang x, ang iyang h day kay negative. But since that is minus man, so therefore h is positive 1. Then k is 0 kay wala may plus k no. So mao na atong vertex 1 0. Axis of symmetry. Obviously, ang atong h kay positive 1. So therefore x is equal to 1. Kay x-axis man ang axis of symmetry. Value of x. Since the vertex falls along the x-axis. Parabola opens upward kay bawta nga kay ang iyang a kani siya ang number gawas sa binomial nga x minus h is positive 1. Actually pwede wala gid na siya 1 gina no, pero gibutan nako ang 1 para ma-understood gyud siya nga na siya 1. Pero kay bawta nga imaginary 1 na siya. But since a is positive 1, therefore the parabola opens upward. Second, make a table of values of at least 3 points on the left and right side of the vertex, which is 1 0, to solve for the values of y. So you have there the table. So bakante paghihapon ang values of y kay ato pa nang solveon. So ang numbers to the right of 1 is 2, 3, and 4. The numbers to the left of 1 is 0, negative 1, negative 2. So di ka pwede magamit og sa unsang number ha. So mabase lang ta sa number line para dili kay ta maglisod og solve. So next, to solve for the values of y, we will substitute the values of x to the function f of x is equal to the square of x minus 1. Since y is equal to f of x. So pwede ra to siya wala isuwat na ang 1. Sa kani wala na ko suwatin na ang 1 ha. Kaya understood man siya nga wa gyapon siya di mausab ang iyang solution manaa or mawala isuwat ang 1. So we'll start the first value of x, negative 2. So that is negative 2 minus 1 square. So negative 2, negative 1 parehong basta magsunod gyud puro negative, i-add ang numbers, copy the sign. So that is understood nga negative 3. So the square of negative 3 is negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Next, if x negative 1, so negative 1 minus 1. So puro negative. So that is negative 2. Negative 2 square is 4. Okay, negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4. When x is 0, 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Bili po di 1 answer ha. Lamis kay 0 minus 1 is 1. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Square sa negative 1, that means negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. When x is 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0. Kana, 0 na gina. 0 square, 0 times 0 is 0. If x is 2, 2 minus 1, what is 2 minus 1? 1. 1 square, 1 times 1 is 1. If x is 3, 3 minus 1, then square. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 square, 2 times 2, 4. Then lastly, if x is 4, 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 square is 9. So that completes our table of values. So as you can see, the middle answer is 1 0 since this is the vertex. Then nag-atbang ang 1, atbang ang 4, atbang ang 9. So if insakto gyud ang value sa y, mag-atbang na ganina nagpasabot nga correct imong solution. So next thing to do is to plot them later sa graph. So the next step is to determine the domain and range of the function y is equal to the square of x minus 1. Domain kay bawgita set of real numbers sa value sa x. So tanang value sa x consider domain. How about the range? Mabalik ta sa table of values, sorry. So as you can see, ang pinakagamay nga value sa y kay 0 and increasing. So ang pagsuwat, y is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, ang pinakagamay nga value sa y, 0. Then usa pa mga number nga dako pa sa 0, 1, 4, 9 and so on. Depende sa solution. Next, determine the x and y intercepts of the function y is equal to the square of x minus 1. So, kanino sa pag-solve ani sir? Okay. Na naman tayo vertex nga 1, 0. Nya, ang kanang vertex is the x-intercept. Vertex siya at the same time x-intercept since it lies on the x-axis. Kaya nga naman x-intercept, value of x, which is 1 when y is 0. About y-intercept. To solve for y-intercept, it is understood that x is equal to 0. Ano naman? Y-intercept, value of y when x is assumed 0. Then, atong i-substitute ang x, pulihan ang value sa x with 0 in the function. So, sa may given function, the function is y is equal to the square of x minus 1. So, to solve for y-intercept, pulihan ang value sa x of 0. So, unang y is equal to 0 minus 1 square. So, what is 0 minus 1? That is negative 1. So, the square of negative 1, that is negative 1 times negative 1, positive 1. So, therefore, the y-intercept is, ang x kay 0, y is 1. So, mo ng 0, 1. Okay? So, the last step is to plot and connect the points of the ordered pairs from the table to graph the function y is equal to the square of x minus 1. So, given this table of values, ang first i-plot, negative 2 and 9. So, there. Negative ang x kay negative 2, then y is positive 9. Oh, intersection niya. Next, negative 1 and 4. Next, 0 and 1. Next, 1 and 0, o dara ang vertex na agid siya ni batog sa x-axis. Then, 2 and 1. 3 and 4, 4 and 9. Then, connect. Okay? So, mura po siya, o graph po siya sa parent function, no? Pero, ni-move siya of one step to the right. Take note. The graph of y is equal to the square of x minus h is the graph of the parent function y is equal to x squared. Move h units to the right. So, kapila siya ni-move? Usa ka unit to the right. Why? Our h is positive 1. So, kung positive ganing h, move ka to the right. Kung pila ra po ang value sa h. Ang movement sa, ang explanation, ang movement sa yung graph. The graph of y is equals to the square of x plus h is the graph of y, of the parent function y equals to x squared. Move h units to the left when h is negative. So, depende. For example, graphing quadratic function of the form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c when a is 1. So, this is already in standard form, no? 3 terms. And identify the following: axis of symmetry, vertex, direction of the parabola, domain and range, intercept. So, saan nyo siya pag-solve, sir? Nga, standard form na, dili mo na parehas sa katong vertex form na. Okay. So, we'll be making use of the method nga gidiscuss sa module number 7. Either CTS method or HK method. So, pinaka sayon good is HK method. Given the equation y is equals to x squared minus 8x plus 15, the following are, okay, first, identify the axis of symmetry. Para ma-solve ang axis of symmetry, kay axis of symmetry, no, kay value sa h. So, we will use the HK formula. H is negative b over twice a. So, identify ka sa a o b sa given function written in standard form. Wherein, a is 1, kay x squared naman na, imaginary 1. B is minus 8x, so obviously b is negative 8. Then, i-plug in. Pulihan ang a o b sa formula sa h. H is equal to the negative of the value of b. Na it happen nga ang b kas negative 8 man. So, negative of negative 8 over 2 times 1. So, negative 8, positive 8 divided by 2 is positive 4. So, our h is positive 4. Second step, identify the vertex. Kung saan pag-solve sa vertex, nanamatay h. So, pangitao na lang ang value sa k using HK method when h is 4. So, k, kibaw kita ang k is equal to the function itself, x squared minus 8x plus 15. Nya pulihan lang ang pulihan lang ang variable x og 4 kay ang h is just equivalent to the value of x. So pulihan og 4 ang x square og minus 8x. Okay. So may matabo k is equal to the square of 4 minus 8 times 4 plus 15. Next, 4 square is 16. 8 times 4 is 32 minus 32 plus 15. So when you subtract then add the three numbers, the result is negative 1. You check using your calculator. Then the vertex is 4, negative 1. Kaya nga naman, ang h is 4 while k is negative 1. So 4, negative 1. So natin vertex. Ang opening sa parabola, is it facing upward or downward? Ang a is positive 1 gihapon to no. Y is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 15. So since positive 1 man, therefore the parabola faces upward. Kapat na step, determine the domain and range of the function. Obviously the domain is a set of all numbers, all values of x in short. When I saw at negative infinity to positive infinity. Range is, since ang yun pa kanina, vertex is 4, negative 1. So expected nga ang value sa y dito kay negative 1. So since the parabola is facing upward, so we will write our range as y greater than or equal to negative 1. So sa mga number nga dako pa sa negative 1, that is 0, 1, 2, 3 and positive numbers. Nya pinakagamay ni nga value sa y kay negative 1. Gibase ni siya sa ato ang vertex nga gisolve ganina. Bantay mo sa vertex. Okay, here. The vertex is at 4, negative 1. So kung imo siya i-locate sa on what quadrant, naan siya sa 4th quadrant where nang y is negative 1. Yeah. Natimingan pa gyud nga the parabola is facing upward. So ang pinaka gamay nga value sa y is negative 1 gyud. Okay? To continue. Make a table of values of at least 2 points lang. Sa kaning example, number 4 or 5 example, 2 points na akong gi-supply. Pero kung maka-supply mo, tulo ka points to the left and right of the vertex, okay ra, mas maayos ra pod. On the left and right side of the vertex, which is 4, negative 1. So to solve for the values of y, we substitute the values of x to the function f of x is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 15. So first, value of x nga ibuli kay positive 2. So f of 2 is equal to 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 15 is equivalent to 3. Okay, check na. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 16 plus 15 is equivalent to 3. If x is 3, sige, i-recheck lang na ha using your calculator. F of 3 is equal to 3 squared minus 8 times 3 plus 15 is equal to 0. Okay, recheck lang na siya kung sakto ba jud. Okay, 3 squared 9. 9 minus 24 plus 15 is equal to 0. If x is 4, 4 squared minus 8 times 4 plus 15 is equivalent to negative 1. 4 squared 16 minus 32 plus 15 is equivalent to negative 1. If x is 5, 5 squared minus 8 times 5 plus 15, so 5 squared is 25, minus 40 plus 15 is equivalent to 0. If x is 6, 6 squared is 36, 8 times 6 is 48, so 36 minus 48 plus 15 is equivalent to 3. So mana siya. So I have only 5 solutions, no, computations. The vertex is at 4, negative 1. So wa nagi-apin ako og solve ang vertex. Na naman 2, 3, nada yung vertex o 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So nag-atbang 2 ka 0, 2 ka 3. But if you would provide the third point on the left and right side of the vertex, mas maayo ra pud. So whenever no kung pila ang iyahang value sa y, if you will supply the third value of the third point on the left and right side. So next step is to determine the intercept, x and y intercept. To solve for the x-intercept, we replace y by 0. Okay, x-intercept, value of x when y is 0. To the function, given y is equal to x squared minus 8x plus 15. So again, x-intercept, value of x when y is 0. So, ulihan ko nuning y og 0. Okay, 0 na. Sir, na-factored out na lagi na. Okay. Of course, we need to factor this trinomial para ma-solve na itong value sa x, diba? Kaya nangita makata sa x-intercept. So, I use here factoring method since the quadratic equation or the quadratic function is factorable man. Factors of positive 15, negative 5 times negative 3. Y negative negative katungod ang middle term negative 8x man. So, dili pwede plus plus. So, negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Negative 5 plus negative 3, negative 8. So, sakto ra. So, according to zero product property, that the two binomials is equal to 0. So, x minus 5 equal to 0 and x minus 3 equal to 0. So, to solve for the two values of x, ang negative x minus 5 equal to 0, ang negative 5 inigbalhin sa right side, mahimong positive 5. Ang x minus 3 equal to 0, ang negative 3 inigbalhin sa right side sa equation, mahimong positive 3. So, we have two positive values of x, that is positive 5 and positive 3. Nya kay bawo man ta nga sa x-intercept y is assumed 0. So ang pare sa duha ka value sa x is 0 gyud. So mo nang 5 0 3 0 and they are representing the x-intercept. We will check kung naa ba gid na silang duha ini graph na to later. To solve for the y-intercept, we replace x by 0 to the given function. So reverse instead, y-intercept, value of y when x is 0 sa given function. Y equals x squared minus 8x plus 15. So sa pulihan ang x sir og 0. So y is equal to the square of 0 minus 8 times 0 plus 15. Nya kabaw magita nga kanang ang square sa 0 is 0. 8 times 0 is 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. So sa nabilin positive 15 ang value sa y. So therefore, when x is 0, y is 15. So pares 0, 15. And that represents our y-intercept. Next is to plot the solved values of y together with x. So ato ni plot. So first is nag-add ko og third point to the left and third point to the right. So when x is 1, y is 8. Wala siya sa table of values pero ako na siyang gisolve separately. Next is 2 and 3. O makita na. Next 3 and 0. O na makita ang primerong x-intercept. Next 4 negative 1 ang vertex. So ang vertex is located on the fourth quadrant. Then 5 0 adara mo na ang duha ka x-intercept. Next 6 3. Then next 7 8. If we will connect them, okay, the parabola is still facing upward, located on the first and fourth quadrant, wherein ang vertex na siya located sa fourth quadrant kaya negative man ang y. Okay, so moving on to example number 5. Graphing quadratic function of the form standard form gihapon, y is equal to x squared plus bx plus c when a is less than 1. Ganina ang a is 1. Karon a is less than 1. So ang may value sa a less than 1, so dili pwede 0 no. Kaya kung ang a 0, dili siya quadratic. So probably ang value sa a din kay negative. And then identify the following gihapon, kanang 5 components. Example, in the given function y is equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 15, the following are: first is to identify the axis of symmetry. So axis of symmetry, values sa h. So solve ta using h formula. H is equal to negative b over 2a. So identify ka sa a, which is negative 1. Kay negative x squared man na, so imaginary negative 1. B is positive 6. Then, plug in sa h formula. H is equal to negative of 6. So, ang nasa sa parentheses is positive. Yan ay negative sign sa gawa, so that is negative 6. Then, 2 times A. Ang A, negative 1. Manang 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. So, dividing two negative numbers is positive number. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is positive 3. Second step, to solve for the vertex. Vertex is hk man, no? So, namatay h. So, what we need is to solve for k. So, i-plug in ra ang value sa h nga to sa original function. Okay, k is equal to the function of h man. Wherein i-plug in ang h nga to sa original equation nga negative x squared plus 6x minus 15. Pulihan ang duha ka x og positive 3. Okay. So sir, ganun gi-enclose nimo ang tracer nya na negative sign sa gawas. Obviously, ang negative sign is dili siya automatic connected siya sa x square. Kaya ang exponent nga 2 is ang iyahang gi-square ana is ang value ra sa variable x. Way labot ang negative. So, mo na siya naka-differ. So, mo nang nakasuwat, negative of the square of 3. So, ang square na ang 3, wala ba ang negative nga sign. Plus, 6 times 3, nga minus 15. Next, pilay square sa 3? 3 times 3 is 9. So, diha itapad pa ang negative nga sign. Plus, 6 times 3 is 18. Bring down minus 15. So, add this one and subtract. Using calculator, that would give us the value of k, which is negative 6. So the vertex is 3 and negative 6. So therefore, makalocate na kita nga ang vertex, ang ulo sa parabola is naa sa fourth quadrant. Kaya ang value sa y, x and y nino, or hk, ang value sa y kay negative 6. So, expected nga ang graph na siya sa fourth quadrant. So, next thing is to, asa mo face ang parabola? Does it face upward or downward? So, to determine the opening of the parabola, find the value of a. The parabola faces downward since a is negative 1. Such that a is less than 0. So, ganina, no? Ang equation given, y equals negative x squared plus 6x minus 15. So, negative x squared man. So, therefore, a is negative 1. So, expected that the graph faces downward. Determine the domain and range of the function. Obviously, the domain set of all values of x, negative to positive infinity. While range, y is less than or equal to negative 6. Nga naman, kay ang atong vertex is 4, negative 6. So therefore, ang negative 6 is representing the value of y. Nga, natamingat ang yun nga, the parabola is facing downward. So kung nag-face siya og downward, nga, negative 6 ang y. So therefore, ang possible values of y is gamay pagid sa negative 6. Kay padungman sa ubos. So, mo na nga, y is less than equal to negative 6. So, ang pinaka dako day nga value sa y kay negative 6. Yung sa mga value sa y nga gamay pa sa negative 6, that is negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, and so on. Next, make a table of values of at least 2 points, or probably we can provide mag 3 points to the left and right side of the vertex, which is 3, negative 6 di ay ang vertex. Then, to solve for the values of y, mo ni siya. We substitute the values of x to the function f of x is equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 15. So pag-identify aning value sa x. 3 and negative 6. So, atong x is positive 3. So, what are the 3 points going to the right of 3? Right side of 3 is 4, 5, 6. Left side sa 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. So, since there are 2 points naman ang required to the left and right of the vertex 3, negative 6. So, ang 2 points to the left of 3, 2 ag 1. 2 points to the left of 3, 4 and 5. So, muna ang first value of x nga gigamit is 1. So, i-plug in, mao gihapon negative nga sign nga i-parenthesis gina siya kay tungod ang negative sign unya siya i-apply. Later makuha na ang square sa 1. So, negative of the square of 1 plus 6 times 1 minus 15 equal to negative 10 ang answer. Why? Square sa 1 kay 1. Nga, negative sign sa gawas. Negative 1 plus 6 minus 15 is negative 10. If x is 2, the square of 2 is 4. So, negative 4 plus 12 minus 15 is equal to negative 7. I-recheck lang na ha, use a calculator. F of 3, when x is 3, so 3 square is 9. Yan, na negative sign sa gawa. So, negative 9 plus 18 minus 15 is equal to negative 6. If x is 4, so the square of 4 is 16. Negative 16 plus 24 minus 15 is negative 7. If x is 5, the square of 5 is 25. So negative 25 plus 30 minus 15 is equal to negative 10. Sige lang, i-recheck na using your calculator. So mo ni siya ang table of values. 2 points to the right of 3 and 2 points to the left of 3. So pareha no, negative 7, negative 10. Next to solve is the x and y intercept. To solve for the x-intercept, we replace y by 0 to the given function. So, ang given function is y is equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 15. Ipulihan ang y og 0. Kani siya kay negative man ang value sa first term. So, di siya ma-solve using factoring. We solve using quadratic formula such that a is negative 1, b is positive 6, and c is negative 15. So, the quadratic formula is equal to x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a. So, i-substitute ang values sa a, b, and c. So, we have there x equals the negative of b. So, negative of 6 plus minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times a, which is negative 1, times c, negative 15, over 2 times a, 2 times negative 1. Next, negative 6 na, plus minus. 6 square is 36. 6 times 6, 36. Nya ka ng sumpay. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 15, negative 60. Munang minus 60. Ang denominator 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. To continue, the solution, that is x equals to negative 6 is equal to negative 6 plus minus ang 36 minus 60 kay bawo kita nga ang 36 gamay ra kay 60 nga imong i-minus, so therefore it would give us a negative answer mo nang square root of negative 24 over negative 2. So once ma-negative na ganina ang number suit sa radical symbol or ang radicand or ang discriminant sa previous topic pa ni sa module number 2, no? When the discriminant is already negative, mo stop na gina ang solution. So diha ta kutob. Kay based on the result, the roots are imaginary. Kay imaginary number naman na siya. The parabola does not pass through the x-axis at any point. So there is no x-intercept once negative ang discriminant. To solve for the y-intercept, we replace x as 0 to the given information. Kay y-intercept, value of y when x is 0. So, the given equation or function is y equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 15. So, pulihan to ang x of 0. Y is equal to the square of 0 plus 6 times 0 minus 15. Then, kibata the square of 0 is 0. Negative 0. Lagi negative nga 0 para buyag. Wala negative nga 0. Pero based sa given equation, na may sign nga negative. So, understood siya nga marag negative 0 plus 0 gihapon kay 6 times 0 is 0. So, wala pa'y ma-add. So, nabilin minus 15 or y is equivalent to negative 15. So, ang sign is, ang operation nga minus is the sign of the next number nga 15. Munang y is equal to negative 15. Therefore, the ordered pair 0, negative 15 is the y-intercept. Klaro. So walay x-intercept kay imaginary man pero naay y-intercept. Lastly, plot and connect the points or ordered pairs from the table to graph the function y is equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 15. So you have there the table of values. So first to plot is 1, negative 10, x is positive 1, then y is negative 10 going down. Then next is 2, negative 7, positive 2 ang x, then y is negative 7 going down. Then 3, negative 6, positive ang x, which is 3, then going down, negative 6. Then 4, negative 7, niliko na siya. So humana ang vertex kay 3, negative 6 man. Then 4 followed by 4, negative 7, then 5, negative 10. Then connect. So our graph or the parabola is facing downward since ang A is negative. Okay? Masabtan. So for your activity, on activity 8.1, on a one-whole sheet of paper, you'll write the complete solutions as provided sa examples nga nasa yung module or kaning video presentation. Then, I have told you to make use or download the GeoGebra app on your phone or on your laptop or any gadget that you have. Then, for you to easily graph the given quadratic function and take a screenshot and print them. Idungan siya o attach sa solution nga gisuot sa one whole sheet of paper. We have 4 items but you will only answer item number 1 and item number 4. Okay? Okay, next. So we're done with lesson 1, no? That is too lengthy. Hopefully, nakasabot ra mo sa lesson 1 on the 5 examples graphing quadratic function. Okay, we're now in lesson 2. And lesson 2 is to achieve the second objective, that is to check what would be the effect of changing the values of a, h, and k in the graph of a quadratic function, either in standard form or in vertex form. Probably mga vertex form na itong gamito nani. So what's new? The examples given in lesson 1 were in the following forms: y equals to ax squared. The second is y equals to ax squared plus k. The third one is y is equal to the square of x minus h. And the fourth one and the fifth example is in standard form: y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. But what if the given quadratic function is in vertex form, denoted by y is equal to the square of kung ano siya a? Y is equal to a times the square of x minus h plus k. Would it take the same steps in solving as shown in lesson 1 of this module 8? How does the graph of quadratic functions in vertex form differ from the graph of a parent function denoted by y is equal to ax squared? And what is the effect on the graph if the values of a, h, and k in the vertex form are being changed? So, unsay kalabutan sa example. Prior to the discussion of a few examples on graphing quadratic functions in vertex form, we shall visit the graph of the parent function na y is equal to ax squared. Katong primerong example. From then, we shall give our observation on how the graph is being transformed from that of a parent function. So, based on the lesson 1, example number 1, mao ni siya ang table of values nga gisolve. So, if we will plot them, negative 3, 9, negative 2, 4, negative 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, and 3, 9. So that would be our parent function niya. Siya ang atoang basis ko unsay kausaban sa atong sa graph sa atong examples nga atong buhaton karon. Okay, example number 1. Given the function y is equal to the square of x minus 2, obviously, ang a dinhi is imaginary positive 1. Na the square of x minus 2, then plus 3. And then identify the following: axis of symmetry, vertex, direction of the parabola, domain and range. Wala na intercept ha. 1. Find the values of AOS, axis of symmetry. V stands for the vertex. DOP stands for direction of the parabola. And DR stands for domain and range. Shortcut na lang ha. Vertex is at 2, 3. Without solving ha. Base lang ta sa vertex form. X minus 2. So H there is positive 2. Manang 2. Di nagikan 3. Ang plus K. Ang K is positive 3. Manang positive 3. So simple ra. Okay, there. A is imaginary 1, H is positive 2, K is positive 3. Axis of symmetry. Our value of H is positive 2. O gikan gyapon sa vertex, positive 2. H is 2. So ina ka easy. Then third one, parabola opens upward since A is positive 1. Then gikan ng A, imaginary 1. Then next, domain. The domain is the set of all real numbers. Obviously, tanang value sa x. While range is mabalik ta sa vertex. Ang ato ang k is 3. Nya mo man ang value sa y. So therefore, if the parabola opens upward, so ang pinakagamay nga value sa y kay 3. So therefore, y is greater than or equal to 3. So ang pinakagamay nga value sa y kay 3. Then mga number nga dako pa sa 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Second step, make a table of values of at least 3 points on the left and right side of the vertex 2, 3 to solve for the values of y. So, ang ato ang x gikan sa vertex is positive 2. So, pila unsa man ang mga points? 3 points to the right of 2. 3, 4, 5. Well, what are the 3 points to the left of 2? 1, 0, negative 1. Pero ang solution akong ibutan din nag-start ko sa 0. So 2 points na akong ipag 2 points to the left, 2 points to the right akong solution. So I started with if x is 0. So 0 ang equation, y is equal to the square of x minus 2 mo ng 0 minus 2 square then plus 3. Plus 3. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2. The square of negative 2, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 4 plus 3, 7. If x is 1, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. The square of negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 plus 3 is 4. If x is 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, so the square of 0 is 0. Plus 3, 3. If x is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1. The square of 1 times 1 is 1. Plus 3, 4. If x is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 square is 4. 4 plus 3, 7. Then lastly is plot and connect the points or ordered pairs from the table to graph the function y is equal to the square of x minus 2 plus 3. So you have there, kani sa table of values nagpuno nako solution third value of x negative 1 ug ang positive 5 para 3 points to the left of the vertex, 3 points to the right of the vertex. So if we will plot them, first ato makita is ang parent graph no kana mo ng parent graph. So diha next na itong i-plot is ang kanina giyod ang table of values. Negative 1, 12. Tora. 0, 7. Tora. 1, 4. 2, 3. 3, 4. 4, 7. Then 5, 12. So ang mga red points mauna ang mga points or ordered pairs sa table of values nga atong gisolve. Then connect. So there we can see the second graph. Ang second graph mao na siya ang graph sa function y is equal to the square of x minus 2 plus 3. So ang observation ni ani that the graph moves 2 units to the right of the parent graph since h is 2. Bantay mo. gikan sa vertex nga origin 0, 0, ni-move siya 2 points to the right. So 1, 2. Kay H is positive 2 man. Vertex is positive 2. Then 3, it moves 3 units upward since K is positive 3. Plus 3 man na. Positive 3. So 2 units to the right and 3 units going up. So dito ma-relocate ang iyang vertex. Then spread out ang iyang graph. Okay, to continue. Second example, given that the function is y is equal to 1/2 times the square of x plus 3 minus 2, then identify the following as symmetry, vertex, direction of the parabola, domain, and range. Step 1, find the values of the following. Vertex is at -3, -2. Okay, going back to the equation, x plus 3 o plus man siya. So napasabot ang iyahang original sign sa h na 3 kay negative 3. Di ba kay x minus h man ni? Nya anong plus man na? So kung plus man gani napasabot ang iyahang value sa h kay negative 3. Then ang plus k minus 2 man ni. So therefore k is negative 2. Easy ra. As symmetry, ang value sa h kay negative 3. So therefore, possibility nga ang iyahang parabola is naa siya sa second and third quadrant. Kay negative 3 man. Ang x kay negative 3. The parabola opens upward since a is 1/2. Positive man ang a. Dara. A is positive 1/2, so therefore the parabola opens upward. Domain, set of real numbers gihapon. Then the range is dito, mabalik ta sa vertex y, or the value of k is negative 2. And since the parabola opens upward, so therefore, ang pinakagamay nga value sa y kay negative 2. Then, going positive. So, y is greater than or equal to negative 2. So, then again, ang pinakagamay nga value sa y kay negative 2. Nya, sa mga na value sa y nga dako pa sa negative 2. Negative 1, 0, and positive numbers. Next, make a table of values of at least 3 points on the left and right side of the vertex, negative 3, negative 2, to solve for the values of y. So, ang basihan ani sa pagpili sa value sa x kay ang negative 3. So, ang sa mga number to the right of negative 3, that is negative 2, negative 1, 0. What are the 3 points to the left of negative 3? Gamay pa sa negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. So, here, marag 2 points ra kung pag-solve, no? Nag-start ko sa negative 5. So, if x is negative 5, i-plug in sa original equation, y equals 1/2 times the square of x plus 3 minus 2. So, if x is negative 5, that's equivalent to 1/2 times negative 5 plus 3. So, pulihan ang x of negative 5. Then, plus 3. Then, square. Minus 2 equal to 0. Anong 0 man? Okay, negative 5 plus 3 is negative. Pila to? Negative 5 plus 3, negative 2. Yeah, the square of negative 2. Square sa negative 2 is 4. Before pa i-multiply sa 1/2. So, 4 times 1/2. Pili ka to nga sa 4, 2. Then, before pa i-minus sa 2. So, 2 minus 2, 0. If x is negative 4, pila man na? So, equal to 1/2 times negative 4 plus 3, then square, minus 2. So, balik ta sa so parentheses. What is negative 4 plus 3? Negative 1. Pila square sa negative 1? Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Positive 1 times 1/2. So, pili ka to nga sa 1. 1/2. Then, what is 1/2 minus 2? So, ang 1/2 kuhaan og 2, that is equivalent to negative 3/2. Next, if x is negative 3, so that is equivalent to 1/2 times negative 3 plus 3, then square, minus 2. What is negative 3 plus 3? That is exactly 0. Then, what is square of 0? 0 times 0 is 0. Then, 0 times 1/2 is still 0. So, ang kaning 1/2 times this binomial nga square is totally 0 gini siya, 0. So 0 minus 2 is negative 2. Okay, next. If x is negative 2 is equal to 1/2 times negative 2 plus 3 square, then minus 2. So what is negative 2 plus 3? Or 3 minus 2? That is 1. What is square of 1? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1/2 is 1/2. 1/2 minus 2, o parihara ang solution. 1/2 minus 2 is negative 3/2. If x is negative 1 equal to 1/2 times negative 1 plus 3, then square minus 2. What is 3? Positive 3 minus 1. Ato lang balihon pagbasa. Okay, parehara magyapon. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 square is 4. 4 times 1/2. Balik ka nga sa 4. 2. 2 minus 2, 0. Okay? Then lastly, plot and connect the points of or order pairs from the table to graph the function y is equal to 1/2 times the square of x plus 3 minus 2. So, mo yung solution. Where in our vertex is negative 3, negative 2, nag-atbang ang negative 3/2, nag-atbang ang 0, then nag-additional ko og solution for 1 point, additional third point sa x, negative 6, then additional third point to the right of the vertex, which is 0. Munang 5/2. So, first is ang first nga plot mo ni siya ang parent function, ang original function. Next to plot is ang kanina gyud negative 6 and 5/2. So, bala na si babaw. So, ang first ki-plot day kay negative 5, 0. X is negative 5, na siya sa negative x-axis. Then y is 0, so naragyo siya sa x-axis. Next is negative 4. Padung ubos ang iyahang kuan, plotting. Negative 4 ang x, then y is negative 3/2. Pila na negative 3/2 sa whole number? That is negative 1 and 1/2. So, if x is negative 4, going down negative 1 and 1/2. So, muna nas tunga. Next, negative 3, 2. X is negative 3, y is negative 2. Then, negative 2 ang x, y going down is negative 3/2. Pila na negative 3/2 sa mixed number? Negative 1 and 1/2. So, going down, negative 1 and 1/2. Wa siya kabot sa negative 2. Then, next is negative 1, 0. Okay, dara. Negative 1, 0. Nagya po siya sa x-axis, negative x-axis. So, duha kabok ang intercept actually. Negative 5, 0, negative 1, 0 ang x-intercept. But, then, wala man gi-require nga pangitaw na ang x-intercept o y-intercept, so okay ra. Then, connect. Na extending pangina sa dapat ang iyang graph going up. So, the graph, ang observation, the graph moves 3 units to the left gikan sa kanay parent function nga 0, 0 ang iyang vertex. Ni move 3 units to the left kay nga naman ang atong vertex is negative 3, negative 2. Ang h is negative 3. So ni move og dato the graph move 3 units to the left of the parent graph since h is negative 3. Since h is negative 3, so gikan sa 0, 0 ni move og 3 units to the left. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Then moves 2 units downward since k is negative 2. So move og 2 units downward, 1, 2. So mo ang movement sa original vertex from 0, 0 padung sa negative 3, negative 2 nga vertex. Then graph. See? So sa inyo ra. I only prepare 2 examples. Then what will you do next is to answer activity on what's more. Activity 8.2. Same on one sheet of paper, write the complete solution as provided on the examples given. Using GeoGebra app on your phone, you can graph the given quadratic function and take a screenshot and print them. But you will only answer items 3 and 4. Duha ra ka buok. Then post-test, answer items 1 to 10, letters only. Okay? So that ends our virtual consultation for the last module in this quarter 1. Thank you once again for participating in this virtual consultation. Stay safe always, students. Thank you.